Hello and welcome back to From the Mic Stand here on Artistic Echoes. Seen a really good set from Kat Bryan. Really enjoyed it. And now we're just going to chat a little bit about her music. She's been on tour lately and she's got a few albums to chat about as well. Hello, that was a really good set. Really enjoyed it.
Thank
How
you
have you
very
been?
much. I've been great. Thank you very much for having me. This has been fun.
Brilliant. So, for all the new people who are new to you, just want to tell us a bit about you, what you've been up to, and things like that.
Definitely, yeah. So I said my name is Kat Bryan. I am from Vancouver, originally in Canada.
Mm.
I'm here in the UK for about a month, touring my new work here. So I signed with Analog Trash about a year and a half
Yeah.
ago. So I've got an album and an EP, and then the next step obviously was to tour that.
Brilliant.
So I've been here in the UK supporting Bryan, who's another great Analog Trash act,
Mm.
doing some shows around Northern England and a few in the South as well.
And is this something that you've been doing since an early age, or is this something you've just been doing right now? Or
Ah, there's a story. So I've been doing this specifically probably for about 3 years.
right, sure,
There was a time when I was about 19, so about 20 years ago,
right,
where I
okay.
did like the folk festival circus, so the
Oh
Taylor
yeah,
Swift
sure,
thing. I had an
yeah,
acoustic guitar and
mm.
all of that. Things happened, and I kind of stepped away from it for about 20 years,
Oh right, okay,
and
yeah.
then came back to it, and have just been doing this.
So what made you choose the electronic side of things this time around?
Pandemic
Right, okay,
mainly.
yeah,
Yep. No, it was something where the main reason I think I stopped doing this when I was a teenager
mm.
was that I had all this stuff in my head and just
Mm.
no way of getting it out there.
Right,
This was when like Pro Tools was just becoming a thing, and it
right,
was
sure,
big news that Weezer had like done an album that they'd recorded themselves without a
mm.
big studio, but it was still really cost prohibitive.
All right,
So
yeah,
I didn't
mm.
have any method to do all of that. And then when the pandemic hit, suddenly we're home all the time, and
Right,
it was
mm.
like,
Mm.
okay, I'm gonna learn how to do this. The software was available.
Mm.
I had friends who were
Yeah,
producers and kind of introduced me to how to do it. And I realized that like now you have a whole box of stuff,
right, yeah.
like
You can just buy a
endless.
box and it works.
Yeah, right. You can get instruments, you can get
yeah.
orchestras, you can get beats, you can get
Mm.
all kinds of stuff, and really play with it to find what is your style.
If you want, you can have like a whole like orchestras, and you can actually
Absolutely.
get specific orchestras and
Yeah.
weird things like that.
Yeah.
So you do the whole thing then? You do the
I do.
writing, you do the
Yep.
recording, and everything then?
Yeah. Everything but the mastering.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. And so who have you been influenced by this time around, and this kind of stuff that you're doing now?
Yeah, major influences for me are definitely Imogene Heap. I mean,
Right.
she's kind of a genius, just not only as a musician but
Mm.
also as a like scientist.
Yeah.
So I really love Imogene Heap. Lamb is a really big
sure.
influence. Metric has been Niels Fromm is
Mm.
kind of left field, but I've been really influenced by Niels Fromm. Basically, anybody doing innovative
Right.
music, if they're
Sure.
doing
Mm.
something a little bit different, a
Mm.
little bit unusual, I'm really into that.
And when you're constructing a song, do you have loads of beats that you have, or do you have loads of lyrics that you have? How does it all come together?
How does it all work? It's one of two ways. A lot of the lyrics come from just like I'm going through some stuff,
Right. Sure.
and I've written some stuff down, and
Mm.
that goes in a book and just kind of sits there. And then if I'm in kind of like the mode or the mood to start writing stuff, I just kind of start tinkering.
Mm.
I use Ableton,
Right.
so I'll pull up some kind of piano,
Yeah.
plug in and search for some kind of backbeat to it, and
Mm.
just kind of build from there. It usually starts with like chords and some kind of beat, and then I find words that I've written previously and
Mm.
kind of match them up,
Right.
and then build it out from there.
Sure. And you've got tracks now together
Mhm.
in an album and EPs. And how have they all come together? Is that something that you've been working on for a long time, or have they come together just for that album? Or
Yeah, well, I mean, the album, which is Music for the End of the World, that was all written during 2021.
right.
So mostly during lockdown,
Yeah.
right? So it was 2020, 2021. And it was mostly inspired not only by like the weirdness of the world,
Mm.
because it was a very weird time.
Yeah.
We've all kind
Sure.
of forgotten that it
yeah. It's
happened,
weird.
but like it was a very weird
Mm.
time. So a lot of the songs were influenced on that, but I was also going through kind of like some personal trauma
Right.
and
Sure. Yeah.
turmoil. So there was a change in the physical world, and there was also a change in my personal
Yeah.
world. So that album was really born from that
Mm.
place. The EP, which is called Luna, um, that is more of the continuation of that story, and
Right.
it is
Sure.
coming through the darkness.
Mm.
And I'm in a much better place than I was a
Yeah.
couple of years ago. I've been in therapy and dealing with
Right.
the mental health and
Okay.
that kind of
Sure.
stuff. So, yeah, it's a brighter, kind of more
Mm.
optimistic. place.
And you're saying the producing and recording, that's what you've done, and then you send it to someone else to master it?
I do, yeah. So all of the writing, mixing, producing, creating, all of that happens in my little apartment in Vancouver. I've got a setup there where I do most of that. And then I've worked with a few different people on
Right,
mastering,
sure.
some great people on the label, and also just some friends that I know who do this work.
And I've seen a couple of videos on YouTube. Do you want to tell us how they come about?
Yeah, so most of them are me.
Yeah,
I'm like a one-person
sure.
show,
Okay.
generally speaking, indie artist life, right? Um, so most of them are things that I filmed in my living room
Right,
or
yeah.
somewhere nearby, and then I use something like CapCut to kind of edit them together and make them look a bit fancier. Center of the Earth was a video I did last year. That was actually a friend of mine who is a brilliant filmmaker. Her name is Deandra Lee Wunatai. She has her own business as a filmmaker, and she actually offered to do a video for me for
Oh,
free
that's very
because
nice.
she's lovely.
Yeah.
It's good to have friends
Yeah.
sometimes, right? So she filmed that when we worked on that together and made a whole project
Yeah.
out of it. So
And you're currently on tour at the moment with Bryan. How's it all gone? Is it gone really well?
it's been so much fun. Like I don't want to go home.
Right.
I have to leave the country
Yeah.
in like 2 weeks, and I don't want to go. I really love being in England. Getting to know the guys in Bryan
Yeah.
has just been so much fun. I've played with some really incredible acts. I've been to so many cities.
Right.
Like it's insane how many cities. I've been to England before, but only to London and
Right.
Brighton, kind of the South End. So this is the first time seeing the north of England and my first time to Scotland, which was really amazing as well. And everybody's been so nice.
Yeah.
Like so
Oh, it's
nice.
brilliant.
So it's been really amazing.
And how do you find the music scene in Canada compared to here? And
It's
what's
very
the music scene in Canada like?
Yeah, it's very interesting. One of the reasons that I'm here is that electronic music just does not have the same kind of following.
Right.
Like I don't know about the rest of Canada. Montreal does pretty well, but in Vancouver, it's not a big scene.
Right. Yeah.
There's a lot of jazz that's really great. There's a lot of indie rock, that kind of thing. There's some amazing music that comes out of Vancouver, but there's not a huge population for electronic, and especially not like the weird gothy stuff
Right.
that I do,
Sure.
right? So it's interesting being somewhere that is more open to electronic music and to darker music, and the whole dark wave, synth wave thing is much bigger here, which is nice.
And you said you still got dates left on the tour?
I do. So I'm in Bristol tomorrow evening, and then we are in Coventry on Saturday, and then London on Sunday.
I just want to remind people where they can find your music and your albums. And
Absolutely,
you.
yeah. Me, I'm all over the internet. You can't miss me. But if you want either of these two things, they're up on Bandcamp. You can go to Analog Trash, analogtrash.bandcamp.com. It is all available there. I am also on YouTube and TikTok and Twitter and Facebook and a bunch of other stuff.
And it's Cat Bryan Music.
Cat Bryan Music in all different places. Yeah, if you Google me, I am now Googleable, which
that's
is very
good.
exciting. Yeah.
And yeah, it's been great having you on the show. Is there anything else you want to chat about? Or
No, I mean, this has been great. I really appreciate that you guys are doing this and made some time to have me out here and play my songs for you.
Brilliant. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you very much.